Rise and shine, beautiful souls. Welcome to Rising to Royalty with Kevin
and Lacey Rise.
What we do here, family, is we take videos, review them, and then offer our insight along with our breakdown or reaction to the video, okay? Today's video on this episode, it's gonna be a very toxic conversation between two co-parents, all right? We really want you guys, man and woman alike, to watch this video, but mainly I want men to understand during the vetting process, you have an opportunity to spot those red flags and then move around or move accordingly, okay? But a lot of times we are too focused on other things, if you know what I mean. So those red flags go under the radar, and then later on when we start seeing this behavior surface, all of a sudden we act like we were aloof to it, when really those signs weren't so subtle, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a game. As we play this video, because I'm gonna let the video play. I know you guys like to say, you pausing the video, I get it. So it's around 7 minutes. I don't really like to wait that long before I speak on it. Sometimes you two have a plot problem with you playing videos for a long period of time before you interact. They look at it like you're stealing the video and not actually interacting or reviewing with the video. Well, we're gonna see how YouTube reacts to this, and that way we can give you guys what you want as well, okay? That way, if you don't want to hear our commentary, you can just watch the video and get on up out of here before you hear what we got to say, okay? But anyway, we're going to play a game today. We're going to watch this video, and we're going to count how many things that we find wrong, okay? And then what Lacey and I are going to do, we're going to call out those things that we see are wrong, and we're going to tell you guys why they are wrong and the adverse effects that can come from those things, okay? And why it's important to not do these things in a relationship, okay? Or in a conversation when you're trying to co-parent. Why it's wrong, okay, family? Y'all ready to get started? You ready to get started, baby?
I'm ready.
See how my voice softened up when I started talking to my queen. That's masculinity.
I love that.
All right, family, let's go. Kim, can I leave now?
Can you please tell me where you cut my children's hair?
I gave my kids a haircut.
You had no authority.
Do you have my kids behind her?
Did you consult with me?
Kim, let me peel off.
Did you consult with me?
Can I leave now?
Let's be a man for once.
Can I leave?
Did you consult with me? Ma, can you get the police because... Yeah, he's taking my photo because he won't tell me exactly what happened. He has no right to do that. I asked you a simple question.
So your mom gonna get the police?
I don't know. I'm asking you a question. Where did you do this? Earl, they don't
Kim, you are really making the kids nervous.
Earl, I know my own children ever since. Okay?
Ever since what?
I know my children.
Ever since what?
Since you abandoned them.
I abandoned
know
them?
okay?
Oh, I thought I left you.
No, I'm recording it too, just to make sure that we're even, Steven, okay?
Yeah, I don't care
that's
about
no
that.
problem.
Oh, don't scratch the car.
Oh, no, scratch the car. Go ahead, do whatever you want to do.
Come on, let me hold the train.
No, that's their train.
I got the train until...
Okay, hold on. No, you hold on to that train. Don't let him take that away from you. Nope.
Don't let him put the train on the car, please,
Then
Kim.
you need to tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, see, you got the boys crying.
Well, you took his train.
Don't scratch the
I
car.
didn't take it.
Don't scratch the car.
Answer the question.
Get daddy a kiss. Get daddy a
Answer
kiss.
the question.
Look. Can I pick him up, Kim?
Put him down.
Can I pick the
You're
kid
over
up?
the time.
Let me
You're
pick the
over
kid.
the time.
So I can't pick the kids up?
Let go. Would you tell me what you did?
So I can't pick the kids
Can
up?
you tell me what you did?
They got a haircut, Kim.
Where? Where, Earl? You put a shaver to their head. How dare you do that?
You finished? And your mom was going to get the police, huh? Kim, would you please have them get the train off the car?
Answer the question.
I'm going to take the train from them, okay?
Take them and then they'll be bawling and it's all you. That's it.
They can't have the train on the car.
Well, then
Now,
you need to answer the
then
question.
why don't you back up from the car
You
then?
need to answer the question.
Back up from the car.
They're going to remember you as an image of taking this away.
Then back up from the car, Kim.
Then answer my question, please.
Back up from the car.
Answer my question.
Kim, you shouldn't be doing this in front of the kids.
Would you please tell me? You're doing it, Earl. Who gave you the right to do that? Who gave you the right?
Oh, I wish you let me leave, Kim.
Who gave you the right? You were over an hour and a half late. Go ahead, get your turn, sweetie. Who gave you the right to shave their head?
What? Don't I pay child support? And don't they my
Child
kids too?
support has nothing to do. You are non-custodial with visitation. You have no rights whatsoever to do anything like this without consulting with me first.
Oh, here come your mama. I know it's about to get worse. Kim, you see, you can't let them scratch up the car.
I'm sorry. I need to know what you did.
I'm going to give it back. Daddy going to give it back. You can't scratch up the car, okay? Okay?
Go ahead.
Come on. Give Daddy a kiss. Give Daddy a kiss.
Give the car back.
Let me give him a kiss, Kim. Let him go.
Okay, give it the car. Give it.
Okay.
Give him the train.
Come get Daddy a kiss.
Get the train. Here, go over here. Take him. Give me the trunk.
You leaving now?
Where's your coat? I don't know. Where's my coats? Where's my stuff?
Is it that bag that you gave me? Oh, you did give me coat, huh?
Yes, I did give you coats,
Oh,
girl, and I
back-
gave you hats, and I gave you food.
Okay, back up so I can open the trunk.
Go right ahead.
Come
Come
on,
on, baby. I'm sorry, what'd you say? What? It works. Does the battery doesn't work? Well, you gotta turn it on.
Get the coats, Earl.
when she back up.
Family,
They're
back
waiting
up.
for
What
us.
do you mean? Get the coats.
When she back up.
You can go get the
I
coats.
don't want you
Earl.
behind me, Kim, because
I really don't care about you, Earl.
you know what? The coats are in the suitcase.
No, let it videotape.
Stop the
No,
phone.
really, 'cause it's
The coats
videotaping.
are in the
Earl,
suitcase.
Stop the phone.
It's
mess.
already videotaped. It's okay.
If my
Can
picture
I have
gets
my
on the
coats?
internet
Don't worry about it.
and you
can
think
sue- you
it's
can sue
funny,
him. You can do a
you
civil
see,
suit.
that's why
Yeah.
you're such a coward, Earl.
Say that again, Miss Woods.
These are the 3-year-olds, not you.
Okay,
Grow up.
okay.
That's enough. That's okay.
When
Can
you
I have?
called
Wait a
me
minute. Can
on
I
the
have
phone
my children's coats,
to
please?
introduce yourself, you
I know,
were
I gotta
saying
get my
that you
coats.
were respectable.
I am. Oh, Kim, did you ever find my mom's obituary?
Can you? You never gave it to me. But can I have my coats, please?
Get the coats, please.
You're trying to change the subject. You're
I
such
know.
a coward.
Just
you know?
get the coats.
Oh, they must have been in that suitcase.
What do you want? I'm sorry. You want to hold my hand?
Yeah, go wait in the car.
It's right there.
He's trying to do
Oh.
something for the court, baby.
No, these are my coats. Oh, that's so typical. It's nothing new.
Oh, there you
Don't
go.
say another word to him. He's not even worth it.
I know.
But don't you
You
ever
don't
touch
do
my children like that again without consulting me. I am custodial.
I'm gonna give them a haircut next
In the
time.
judgment of the divorce, you do not touch
Oh, is
their
that a
hair.
threat?
Is that
I'm
a
just
threat?
telling you, if they need a haircut, I'll give it to
Are
them.
you threatening my children?
If they need a haircut, I'll give it to them.
They
told
just
you to
had a
cut the
haircut. Do you
haircut?
want me to send you the bill?
You do not cut
And you think
them.
it's funny?
Yeah, send me the bill.
You think
Earl,
it's funny?
Earl, you should have been more conscious about them being sick with the fever instead of trying to give them a haircut.
Oh,
Kim.
he's videotaping that.
I know, so am I. I'm doing the same thing, Mom. I just want to make
I'm
sure
gonna
it's
crack him
consistent.
on his head.
Don't do that, Mom.
Miss Woods,
It's
back
a
up.
waste of space. He's a
Back up.
Behave yourself.
Back up, Miss Woods.
Behave yourself.
He's a waste of space.
Behave yourself.
Get out the car. Y'all scared.
Waste of space. You okay, sweetie?
What is your name, honey?
Look close.
What's your name?
Huh?
Hold on, Miss Woods. You
Ronnie?
What's your mommy's name?
What's your name?
What's your mommy's name?
What's your mommy's name?
let the car go. Y'all
Are
get,
you touching me?
get away from the car.
Are you hitting me?
Get away from the car.
Are you hitting me?
Get away from the car.
Did you just hurt me?
Get away from the car.
Did you just hurt me?
Get away from the car.
Did you just put your hands on me?
Are you hitting me?
Get away
And
from
you're
the car.
taking
Did you
pictures.
put your
You're
hands
doing
on
this
me?
on purpose.
Get
Did
away
you
from the
put your
car.
hands on me?
Let's go.
You put your hands on me? I'm gonna have a physical. Go ahead.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go ahead. Let's go. I'm gonna put a complaint against you.
I'm about to walk back in the
Right
police
now,
station
right.
myself.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
You put your hands on me. Leaving a child in the car. You're so typical.
Come on. So whose kid was in the car seat? My kid or her kid?
They have 3 car seats.
In the front seat?
No, I just put that in the front
In
seat.
the front seat?
Go get a life, Miss Woods.
In the front seat, Earl?
Go get a life.
Go get a license.
Yeah, go get a life.
Go get. Oh, I have a life. You're the one that don't have a life.
You know when I was living
Why
with
don't
Kim,
you grow up?
you know your dad,
Why don't
you know
you
your
grow
husband had a woman out there in North Carolina, huh?
You know, Earl. You know, Earl.
I'm just.
I won't even answer that.
I bet you won't.
I won't even answer that.
I bet you won't.
And you had another girl while you were dating my daughter.
I wish I did. I wouldn't have married her ass. I wish I did. I would have married her.
Oh, well, let me see my husband pull you up.
And tell me what?
See, Earl,
And tell me what?
See, this is the way you act. Go.
Come on.
Wow. Okay, so before we go back, is your blood boiling yet? Did you like this interaction? Is this men? Is this something that you would like to have with your future mother's future children's mother and potentially grandmother? Okay, the grandmother to your child. Is this the interaction that you like, that you would want? Because I'm sure you wouldn't. I'm sure you'd like to be in your child's life, be able to work with your child, teach your child, train your child up, program your own child. right? That's what you're going to want to do instead of let this world do it, okay? That's what you want to do. So you want to pick somebody you can be able to do that with, okay?
Right.
And so what you're looking for is characteristics that shows that she can be a co-parent if the relationship breaks down. See, a lot of times when you guys are getting along, you're probably not going to think like, if this doesn't go right, she's going to turn into a horrible person and weaponize this child. You're not thinking that. So what you want to look for are signs, and you don't see this stuff day one. And likely if we are just chasing tail, trying to get to it, then we're not really going to be looking for stuff like that. Now she's pregnant and she's already got this baby and you didn't put no consideration into it. And now you're going through it. And in your mind, you're thinking she's crazy, but you're not thinking about the opportunities that you had to avoid the situation altogether. You are the leader. Okay, so as a man, take charge of your life and choose who you allow in your life and start vetting people. Please start vetting people, family. All right. So you don't want a co-parenting relationship where y'all are enemies. OK, that's going to ruin your legacy because you want both of you guys imparting into your child, not creating an enemy between the parents by things that the other parents say, the bitter parents say, the toxic parents say. You understand? But let's get into this, family. I think it's going to be a really great build. All right. I found about 15 things wrong, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I lost count. It's horrible.
I would
okay?
say the same. I definitely lost count. Around the same, about 10, 15. I stopped counting.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll just go ahead and hit play, and we'll just stop whenever we saw something. We're gonna try to keep each point short and sweet, so it's not a very long video, but we want to cover the problems in this video, okay, family?
Absolutely.
So let's get to it.
Kim, can I leave now?
Can you please tell me where you cut my children's hair?
I gave.
Authority.
Number one, first I do want to say something that he's done right. Okay, obviously he did some things wrong in the vetting process, but he got a camera directly on her. This is so she can see it and she doesn't gaslight him. Okay, if the camera's not on her, who knows what she's gonna do? So mind you, she's doing all of this with a camera on her. Imagine what she'd do if it wasn't on her. Just imagine that, okay? Now, it starts off, she asked him a question. Y'all remember that question? Where did you take my children to get their hair cut? Fellas, is this the type of conversation you want to have with your children's mother? About your child, cutting their hair? Is that the conversation you want to have? You want to be held accountable to why you cut their hair and where you took them? Like, hair grows back, you're their father. Is this the conversation you want to have? Family, do you guys think that this conversation is needed? I will say this first off. If they had like long dreadlocks or long locks, forgive me, and she's growing them out for spiritual reasons or whatever the reason may be, it's really long and she wants to see that hair grow and he knows that, then he is wrong for going and cutting their hair purposefully, okay? So we don't know that she didn't go that far into it. So it appears that she just wants to argue about it because here's the problem. Even if I could see her point, the hair is already gone. And there is no need to have this conversation right here, okay? In public, where you can make things get worse, okay? Things can blow up and police will eventually be called. As you guys that saw the video, you saw what happened. And this is why you want to avoid these type of things and just talk later. You understand? Not have to do this right here without arguing and stuff because he can't put the hair back on his head, take him back to the barbershop, get the hair put back on his head. None of that, right? So this is just someone wanting to start an argument. And you can see that, okay? So even if she's justified in wanting her children to keep the hair on their head or whatnot, you understand? This is uncalled for. The hair's already gone. All right, but let's continue.
I gave my kids a haircut.
You had no authority.
Do you have my kids behind her?
Did you consult with me?
Kim, let me peel off.
Did you consult with me?
Can I leave now?
Let's be a man for once.
Can I leave?
Did you consult with me?
That one was one of the first, the second indicator for me. The first one was when she said, my children. And that tends to be something that is highly weaponized amongst women. When you create a life with someone else, which is a prerequisite to create that life, men make a contribution and so does the woman. At no point, even if you have full custody of your kids, are they just your children? When you have full custody, that means that it was issued as, from a judge. That does not mean that you are the only contributor of DNA to this child. The child still has another biological parent, even outside of the judge's requirements. And then there's this aspect of, you didn't consult with me. which takes it further, still saying that these children are mine. They don't belong to you. And that can be very antagonistic. That can send a man into any type of state, because he knows he's biologically the father of these children, and he does have some rights, even if the judge is not acknowledging those rights. The fact that he is a biological parent should give him some rights, at least at the baseline. But women weaponize that and try and strip the man of his parental rights. Even in a lot of cases, and these women have not gone to court, and they operate in this way, and there is no paperwork that's set in place.
Right. You guys remember the guy who ended his children's mother, and the woman who he had pregnant at the time. The children's mother, he had already separated from her some years ago, but she had spread some rumors about him, and and kept him from his children, and told him he wasn't fit to see his children, and so he was having to fight for his children. Then he's dating this new woman, gets her pregnant, and while she's carrying the baby pregnant with the child, they get into an argument, and she starts saying things that will trigger him. Well, these are similar things. The lady said to him, "You're never going to see your child again. I see why your ex wouldn't let you see the children. I'm not going to let you see the children. The child isn't even born yet." Okay, it triggered him to act out in rage. He ended her, and then went and ended the other lady too, for the rumors that she told years ago. This is why I say, kings, in these moments, leave, don't argue, because you're not gonna win that, okay? She's going to trigger you. She's gonna say something to trigger you. You understand? And so there it was, did you consult me? Lacey's right. If someone says that to you as a man, and you know that's your child, it's likely to trigger you to rage, because that's your child, and here they are talking about you gotta ask somebody before you cut their hair. But then this kicker right here, she says, be a man for once in front of his children.
Absolutely.
So you already understand that implies that he has yet to be a man, right?
Absolutely.
She's probably insinuating he's been irresponsible and immature, and she's doing this in front of the children. Now notice he doesn't do that back. He does not say, "You're a horrible person. You need to be mature. You need to grow up." He didn't say that back to her. She's doing this in front of the children. Now I want you guys to understand, when you see a co-parenting relationship, more times than not, which child has the estranged relationship? Which parent has the estranged relationship with the child? It's the father, right? Well, the reason is a bitter mother will talk junk about that father. She'll criticize that child all the way down to him looking like his father, as if the child has anything to do with what they look like. She'll criticize him for looking like his daddy. You ever heard a man criticize his daughter for looking like her mama? You haven't, have you? See, this is what I'm telling you. A man will not raise his child to hate his mother, but a woman will do that. And as a man, this is your legacy, kings. Who are you going to pass your stuff down to if your children hate you? Kevin Samuels died. You see, he had an estranged relationship with his daughter. We don't know what the mother was like. That could be just due to him being irresponsible. But here's the problem. If you're going to be responsible in a relationship and you have a co-parent like this, it really doesn't matter, because everything that you do is going to get twisted and turned into something evil. He went and hung out with his children, cut their hair, brought them back safe and sound, and look, punitive treatment right in front of the children. This will make a man say, F them kids. And I know it's crazy. I know that sounds wild, but I've had two friends who love their kids to death be in relationships like this, or co-parenting relationships like this, where the women drove them so crazy that they were saying things that I'm like, your man don't say that about his kids. Right? They'll just be like, I'm going to give her this child support. I ain't going back over and trying to see them kids no more, because every time I try, she do something to keep them away from me. So I'm not even going to go bother with them. I'll see them when they're 18, and I'll say something to them like, this happened to me twice. I'll say something to them like, now that's your kids now. You're supposed to do whatever it takes to see your kids, right? And guess what they said? Man, F them kids. Came back to me a day or so later in tears because they were so upset that they even said that out loud. But it brought that out of them. That's not a good relationship, family. You understand? So just make sure that you have a person in your life who doesn't show these type of attributes, that they can turn evil like this and be your enemy. You understand?
And to tell a man to be a man for once, it's completely loaded. And when a woman says it, just from my opinion, there's no way that you cannot calculate an explosion in return. Especially when you're talking in front of the children. You're not only in front of the children, you're out in public. And one thing that I also wanted to draw your attention to is statements like that does represent the mother coming from her mind state to let you know that she's still bitter, she's still resentful, and it is still personal. That statement right there had nothing to do with the children. It was about her personal expectation of his behavior and him not meeting those expectations.
Being a man in that moment meant, tell me where you got your kids the haircut, or go back in time. And he just took his children out, was responsible with the children, went and paid for them a haircut, and she's telling him to be a man for once.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. Right, family?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
With me. Ma, can you get the police because... Yeah, he's taking my photo because...
See, now she's already saying get the police. She's insulting you and saying get the police. Guess, look at this. Where is she standing? Behind your damn car, so you can't even leave. So she's really gonna try to torture you. So if you're not gonna drive your car off that median and probably through a tree the other way to get away from her, he should have been turned around and walked back in the police department. In fact, you should never meet her unless you are in a place where authorities are nearby. Because you realize she is a professional gaslighter. She planning on pulling up with you and starting an argument over something. And he gave it to her by cutting the children's hair. You see how that works?
And standing behind the car with the children.
Yeah, she's gonna hold him hostage to this
What if he wanted
torment.
to be violent? What if he was so enraged that he did something reckless?
She hasn't considered that. She doesn't care.
Exactly. Not just backing up the car and possibly injuring her, but she's holding both of the boys by their hands behind the vehicle as well. And then to initiate calling the police. I feel like that is such a life-threatening and life-altering experience
She
for
became
a
a Karen
man.
for her own brother.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about her own brother, a man who looked like her. They have a child together, and she became a
Absolutely.
Karen. Now, we say this is wrong when a person of a different color calls the police on someone for no reason. But what is this?
Absolutely.
Because see, hate, it don't matter about race. It transcends. You would turn a person into the, like I said, a person who say they love you, that person would do the most hateful act to you because they're angry with you. So you got to watch how you move in Kings, but you got to make sure you're watching the personality traits that she displayed, because if you drop the ball, you'll likely turn her into a devil. And if you end the relationship because she's being toxic, she's going to punish you for that, especially if you have a child with her, because now you can't really leave her alone. And your goal is to just leave the toxic woman alone, get as far from her as you possibly can. But now that you have this child with her because you weren't vetting her, you're having sex with her, you didn't strap up, you were irresponsible. Now you have a relationship or a child with a very toxic woman, okay? And so now you can't get away from her because you have the children. And that's why these men said bump the kids too, because they're thinking in order to get away from this person, I would sacrifice the very relationship with my children. Absolutely. And that's crazy, yo, that you would even have to consider that. But look, if he lashes out, if he acts on any of this rage, he's likely going to jail just because she'll call them.
Exactly.
But if he is crazy, if he's crazy like her, and he attacks her in any type of way and does toxic man stuff, which is attacking her, then she put the children's life at risk. She put their health at risk by getting this man upset, by trying all of this. So she's really provoking this man in front of people that she says she loves dearly. Now, who does that? Now, just imagine, family, you go out with all your homeboys, right? And they starting drama with other people when you in the car. You ain't got nothing to do with this. They asking people what they looking at, just jumping at people for no reason, starting stuff. That means if drama pursues or drama happens, you're going to be caught up in that drama. So what would you tell them? Hey, man, don't be starting that shit when I'm here, bro. Like, that's not right. You understand? So this is her children. Would you guys go and start drama with your children in the car? Think about this. How many times you see somebody who you might actually have a problem with and be like, nah, I got my kids in the car. I ain't saying nothing because I got my children. She's starting trash right with these children, man. You see what I'm saying?
And I don't want to take it too far off topic, but it is something we can acknowledge that every individual, depending on their culture, does not have the same interaction with authority. And if you are a mother threatening to call the police, when they involve themselves in the situation, you no longer have control over the outcome. So if this person shows up and they're on a power trip, they feel like most fathers don't take care of their kids and they're actually doing the children a service by removing him from the situation, this father can potentially not even come home. They might not just take him overnight to cool off the way a woman would assume. He hasn't really done anything. I'm just trying to get him away from me. But depending on what this particular officer decides to charge him with, he may not be coming home. Now you have created a scenario that that you instigated that is going to leave your children without their father. And you always have to factor that in, because it's not just his responsibility to be present, it's your responsibility to ensure that they have their father as a part of their life as well. And you're threatening that by being toxic and then answering his response with a police threat. It can go completely left and end up in a place that you didn't even calculate.
And the problem is, okay, he's number one, he's a black man. And you know that you've seen how black men get treated in this society. Okay, so you know the likelihood of him getting harmed on sight is high. Okay, now on top of that, there's no punitive treatment for her telling these lies and calling the police and getting them involved. So she's going to use them as a weapon as well. Okay, now what should happen is, whenever the police, if the police were to show up, or if he goes back in the police department and shows that she's trying to threaten him with the police and he hasn't done anything, that should be a crime against her. But there is no crime against her for that. So what's to stop her from doing that? So she's going to feel like, I can use the police as a weapon, get them here, put this man in harm's way, and I don't have anything to pay from that. That's not right. You shouldn't be able to use these people, and it's taxpayers' money. Couldn't they be somewhere helping somebody for real? But they calling them out here for you risking your life and your reputation, your career, your livelihood. Okay, that's not cool, right? Okay, so consider this, family. This woman has literally got a loaded gun to your head when she makes these type of threats. That's crazy. Let's go.
Because he won't tell me exactly what happened. He has no right to do that. I asked you a simple question.
So your mom gonna get the police?
I don't know. I'm asking you a question. Where did you do this? Earl, they don't
Kim, you are really making the kids nervous.
Earl, I know my own children ever since. Okay?
Ever since what?
I know my children.
Ever since what?
Ever since you abandoned them.
I abandoned
know
them?
okay?
Oh, I thought I left you.
No, I'm recording.
See, you leaving her will be abandoning them. This is how you know she's still bitter, okay? He left her. She calls leaving her abandoning them. See, sometimes a relationship can get so toxic, a man or woman will decide to leave even though they have children with that person. It don't even necessarily have to be due to cheating. It can just be so toxic that you don't want to raise your children in that environment. And you'll decide to leave your children's mother or father because it's so bad. Well, when you do that, that other person's hurt, because naturally we want to be with our children's mother. Women, you want to have your children's father in the home raising the child. So when somebody severs that and says, I'm leaving, it hurts. Just imagine you a man, y'all arguing a lot, and she tells you, look, we arguing a lot, we're not getting along, I'm taking the children with me, we leaving. You like, damn, like, you taking my, you would feel upset. But see, when a man leaves, he doesn't get to take the children, he just gets to leave because of the world, the social world that we have, okay? Now he's gonna leave, and she's going to feel abandoned, like I'm left on my own with these children to care for them and be responsible for them, but that's not the case. We're gonna co-parent. I'm just not gonna be in the home anymore. Absolutely. And they're not logging that in, that this is a part of life. Sometimes relationships don't work, but if there are children that's here, you both gotta work together to take care of these children. Even though that's a fact, and you can see that in our world, she's gonna log that in her mind as you abandon her. And to her, this gives her the right to act traumatized and act like somebody did her wrong. But she's not just gonna say her. You abandoned us, and she's gonna project that onto the children. Now, she's doing that to hurt him. She's not doing this to hurt her children, because what mother would want to hurt their children, right? Because we say mothers love their children more than anyone else in the world, so she's not knowing she's going to hurt her children. But do you know how children act when they have abandonment issues? Do you know how hard it is for them to connect in the world when they have abandonment issues, especially about their father? When they are upset with their father, have you seen how different they act in reality? Absolutely. I used to do prison ministry. I can tell you right now, it was about 4 out of 5 of them that complained about, that literally used being in prison, literally used their father not being in their life as some sort of excuse as to why they were in prison. You understand? So this tells you that these type of things that happen in your life, you'll keep using these as excuses to not do better in life. You understand? And I would tell these men, at some point you have to take responsibility for your actions. Your father left you when you were a child. He did not go with you to rob that bank. He did not go with you to do that drive-by. He did not go with you to that street corner and sell them drugs every day. You did that. And they'll begin to cry and weep because they haven't considered that. Now, you think that this is just their ideas, my daddy abandoned me, but what if it came from their matriarch, their mother, their God, the most important person to them, telling them your father abandoned you? What do you think that's going to do to your child? And I'm trying to, that's why I want you ladies to watch. You think you're hurting the man, but you're literally crushing your child's psyche.
Absolutely.
And you're going to make it where they're unable to perform out here in the real world because you're going to crush them. I saw this thing, it talked about children when they go through abuse, that's actually sexual abuse, but mental abuse is the same way. When a child is abused in their young state of mind, they don't go out and work in society to be productive. They don't stand up against indifferences. They don't stand up for their rights. They don't care anything about what's going on with the Constitution or in our world. They don't do this because they are broken, okay? Because they've been psychologically abused their entire life. They more care about their own personal trauma, so they're not really going to be effective in making the world a better place. They're just going to be broken and using what happened to them as an excuse to be failures in life. I don't want to be a catalyst to that for my children. So I know that people have the tendency to do you wrong, but don't give that to your child because you're going to have them carry a burden that they shouldn't be carrying. Even if their father abandoned them, do you really want to tell them your father abandoned you? Is that something you really want to say? Like, be wise, y'all. I know men who are raising their children all on their own without their mother at all, and they don't tell their children your mother abandoned you because they feel like that would hurt for their child to hear that.
Absolutely.
So they just don't do that. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the mind of a child. We have a history of saying children didn't know any better. So we don't really take much accountability for the toxicity that we expose them to because we automatically assume they won't remember it. These children are maybe 5, 6 years old. They will remember. It may take a little bit of work to recover the memory once they're fully grown, but they will remember. And they won't just remember it through your eyes and what your perception was to have occurred or how you explained it. They're going to remember it from their own eyes. And some of you mothers don't really anticipate that you can literally do all of this on a regular basis and turn your child into someone who hates you. Eventually, they start to think for themselves. Eventually, they start to make sense of things. Eventually, they start to ask questions and get answers to those questions. And when they find out that their mother is dishonest, when they find out that they chased their father away, you will be the number one enemy, and you will no longer have a relationship with your child. And there's nothing more devastating than caring for someone for the duration or for whatever length of time that you raise them for, only for them to turn around and say they want nothing to do with you as the mother.
Or give you
that
rebellion.
Will break you down. Absolutely.
Because they may not cut you off, but they will rebel.
Absolutely.
And when they look in your eyes, you will not see respect in their eyes. Because they're going to be looking at you like you ruined their life with their father, their relationship with their father. And they're not going to respect you at all as a mother, as a woman. You're going to lose your matriarch rights. So that's why your child becomes very rebellious. Because they can see you've been toxic and you've probably told them to shut up and not voice their opinion and all these things because your ego's tied up into it. When they want to go see daddy and express that to you, I miss daddy. You probably fuss at them for it. Daddy ain't even around. You just mad because you don't even want them to miss their daddy. So you punish them for even saying it out loud, man. It's sad. And I'm telling you, like Lacey said, they are logging this into their memory banks, and they're not psychologists. They haven't studied for this. They don't have the words to put to it to say why it's wrong, but they know it's wrong. They're more connected to energy, divine energy, than we are. So they know it's wrong even when we don't. So a lot of times when we are caught up in our rage, we are desensitized to right and wrong. We just acting out of our emotions. She's not thinking about right and wrong right now, but her children, they know, they can feel it. They know this is not right.
Absolutely.
This is why they start to act out scratching his car and stuff, but let's get to it.
It too, just to make sure that we're even, Steven, okay?
Yeah, I don't care
that's
about
no
that.
problem.
Oh, don't scratch the car.
Oh no, scratch the car. Go ahead, do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so right here, children playing around. I would say self-soothing. Parents arguing right there in front of them. Children gonna find something to do. She got them held behind the car. They can't go sit in the car seats. Like, why not? Right? She wants the children to hear this crap. You see what I'm saying? Or she wants the children to witness him lose it at something that she said to him. Something's happening because she don't want these children in the car. They could just be in the car.
Absolutely.
But anyway, they're scratching his car potentially. He says, look, don't do that. You might scratch the car. No, don't scratch the car.
Okay, I thought that was what I heard.
Now watch this.
I was like, is she
that what you want?
encouraging them to scratch the car?
In a relationship, whether you're together or not, when you are co-parenting, you still got to have each other's backs.
Yes.
You got to negotiate a way to where you got to stand behind each other's decisions, even if you necessarily don't agree. Dad, mama said I couldn't go to the movies tonight and I really want to go. Well, your mama said you couldn't go. Well, I feel like it ain't a good enough reason why I couldn't go. Boy, you better listen to your mama.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Mom, Dad, can I go to the Mom? Can I go to the movies? Dad said I couldn't go. You better listen to your daddy if he said you couldn't go. Don't be disrespectful. Don't come and ask me if you know one of us already said no.
Absolutely.
You know, this is supposed to happen whether or not you're in a relationship or just co-parenting.
Absolutely.
But right here, she completely disrespects his authority right in front of him to the child about something she know is wrong. Don't scratch my car. Yeah, you can scratch the car. You can vandalize his vehicle. Do you think, this a young boy she talking to. So what do you think he's going to grow up doing when he's upset? Is he not going to think it's okay to do stuff like this?
Absolutely.
You guys don't realize that children are learning how the world works through you. When you tell them they can act like this, they're not going to feel that it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? They'll feel it when it happens that it's wrong, but when you justify it, they're going to be like, oh, okay. I guess this is how we do. Because you know how children grow up complaining about the toxic things their parents do to them. But then by the time they are an adult, they realize they have became their toxic parents.
Absolutely.
Because in the moment it was wrong, right? Your mother telling you to shut up, not let you say nothing, whenever you was just trying to express yourself as to why you feel like this is not right. It could have given her some insight, and maybe y'all could have both grew in that moment, but she felt like children ain't even supposed to talk. So she told you to shut up. You know it hurt that you didn't get to voice your opinion. But in life, as you grew up, you started thinking, oh, children are supposed to shut up when adults are talking. They're not supposed to have an opinion. And you don't realize that allowing them to have an opinion actually sharpens their mind and helps them be able to negotiate in life. Okay, it don't make them so agreeable in life where they get bullied and pushed around in life. But you're going to be their first bully by not giving them a word edgewise.
Absolutely.
So you're in a courtroom, family. You tell your child they did something wrong, allow them to speak their mind about why they thought it wasn't wrong, and allow them to learn that it was wrong logically before you beat the shit out of them. But instead, you're just going to say it's wrong because I said it's wrong. Your father, your mother has spoken, and if you say something back, I'm going to hit you, and if you cry, I'm going to give you something to cry about. And this becomes the treatment. You understand? And then you don't like this as a child, not being able to say nothing, having to suck your tears back after you know you just got your ass whooped. But by the time you grow up, you're doing this exact thing to your child. The cycle continues.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? It's not good to raise your children because they don't do what you say, they do what you do. But she's actually saying to scratch the car. They mimic you, but she's actually saying to scratch the car. This is crazy, y'all.
Encouraging to be destructive.
Absolutely. This is crazy. Because if he tries that same thing to her car, it would immediately switch. And this is not good rules to give your kids. It's okay over here, but it's not okay over here. It confuses the hell out of your kids.
Absolutely.
And it makes you seem like the crazy one because now they're trying to understand what's right and what's wrong. You know, as parents, whenever you whip your kids today because you're in a bad mood, but then tomorrow they do the exact same thing that they did yesterday, but you're not in a bad mood, so you don't whip them. Right. It confuses them, and you're wondering why you can't get consistency out of your children. That's not good discipline. If it's wrong today, it got to be wrong tomorrow, family. Absolutely. And if it was wrong today, it should have been wrong yesterday. You don't whoop them and say, well, you did this yesterday too. You didn't say a word yesterday, though. But today you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, so of course you beating ass today. That's crazy, y'all. Let's go.
Come on, let me hold the train.
No, that's their train.
I got the train until...
Okay, hold on. No, you hold on to that train. Don't let him take that away from you.
I'm gonna make this quick, but let me hold the train. She says no, that's their train. So daddy can't get the train because it's their train. Have you ever had a child say, no, you can't have this because it's mine? They don't have that right. Give me the train. I can take it for whatever reason, yo. It's yours, but it's mine, really. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, because it's yours. That's their train. He ain't got to give it to their daddy. Okay, well, okay then. Well, when you ask for the train, it's still their train. So they should be able to look you right in the face and say, no, it's my train. And I bet you she'll find that as rude. But she's raising them to be rude to their father, though.
Nope.
Don't let him put the train on the car, please,
Then
Kim.
you need to tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, see?
Now he's talking to them instead of the children because he can't talk to his own children and tell them not to do something that is definitely wrong to do. Not wrong in terms of their knowledge of wrong, but it would scratch his car. So he's saying, don't do it because it could result in scratching my car, which is something I don't want to happen. Don't respect your daddy, keep scratching his car. So now he has to talk to her instead of the children. Don't let them scratch my car. Do you want the type of relationship with your children's mother? Like, do you want to be able to tell your children how to behave or tell her to tell them how to behave? Like, how do you want this to happen? This is why you got to be careful with where you put your dick, where you put your junk. Sorry, I don't want to. I'm sorry, guys. We got to start looking at this for real, okay? Let's go.
Oh, see, you got the boys crying.
Well, you took his train.
Don't scratch the car.
I didn't take it.
Don't scratch the car.
Question.
Get daddy a kiss. Get daddy a kiss.
You see that?
Yeah.
You took his train. I didn't take it. So now she wants the kids to be mad at him for taking the train when they were using the train to scratch the car. He tells him stop scratching the car with the train. No, scratch the car with the train. Well, I'm going to take the train because you're obviously telling them to do the opposite of what I'm telling them. Where you took their train, like you didn't take it, like you took it for no reason. This woman is literally just gaslighting this man. Like, I'm trying to get these kids to hate you.
And as the father, whether you're inside the home or outside the home, from the children's perspective, the father is the highest authority. When you as the mother diminish that, I really don't understand. I don't think you guys understand the magnitude of devastation you're creating, because children have to learn to respect authority. That's why the parents are put in place, because you eventually learn, no, you can't have certain things. There are rules and consequences for your actions that are enforced by the parents, so they can learn that society works that way. So when you teach your children that they don't have to respect their father, you're saying more than they just don't have to respect their father. You're saying that even when someone tells you that this is an authority figure, you can just walk around them. And it can create a situation where your child gets to a point to where they have so much confidence in themselves, they feel that authority is nothing they have to respect. And these young boys
Especially
end up
men,
in
male authority.
prison, or they end up no longer a part of this life because of their lack of respect for authority.
Especially for men, which makes them
Especially for
more
men.
apt to end the lives of their brothers, because they don't see value in men either, because they don't have value in their father. You understand? So this makes them angry at every man they see when they have father issues. This is what I mean. When we see that male on male violence is at a all-time high. A lot of times you see that comes from not having a father in your life, not understanding the value of another man. So you'll just end that man's life because he was on your corner.
Absolutely.
You don't care that he has children. You'll end that man's life because he stepped on your shoes. You understand? And all this comes from this type of talk, this type of stuff, family. If the TV don't do it and the media don't do it to have us devalue each other, it'll happen this way.
Absolutely.
Question.
Can I pick them up, Kim?
Put him down.
Can I pick the
You're
kid
over
up?
the time.
Let me
You're
pick the
over
kid.
the time.
So I can't pick the kids up?
Let go. Would you tell me what you did?
So I can't pick the kids
Can you
up?
tell me what you did?
They got a haircut.
He's trying to kiss his children and she's telling him he's over his time. See, that would trigger a man too.
Absolutely.
Got a haircut, Kim.
Where? Where, Earl? You put a shaver to their head. How dare you do that?
You finished? And your mama going to get the police, huh? Kim, would you
No,
please have them
Would
get the
you
train off the
please
car?
Answer the question.
I'm going to take the train from them. Okay,
Take them and then they'll be bawling and it's all you. That's it.
they can't have the train on the car.
Well, they
I don't even have to, but you heard it, right? It's all you if you take the train. It's all you. It ain't got nothing to do with her, right? Telling them to keep doing it. If she said, yeah, y'all stop doing that with the train, I bet they would stop. But now they're gonna, who do I listen to, mama or daddy? And if they stop, she'll probably fuss at them in the car for stopping. Like, I don't listen to him over me. It'll become some type of competition. Shit is sad, yo.
Now,
you need to answer the
then
question.
why don't you back up from the
Then
car
you
then?
need to answer the question.
Back up from the car.
They're going to remember you as an image of taking this away.
Then
I
back up
asked
from
you
the car, Kim.
Then answer my question, please.
Back up from the car.
Answer my question.
Kim, you shouldn't be doing this in front of the kids.
Would you please tell me? You're doing it, Earl. Who gave you the right to do that?
Please don't do this. You're doing it, Earl. No, he's not doing it. It's clearly her doing it. Those little handsome boys out here got to go through that bullshit.
Absolutely. And you don't have time. You have time to bicker. You have time to argue.
Right. You ain't
But
got
you
time to
don't
kiss
have
kids, though.
time, exact, to allow him to pick up his children. You don't have time to tell your children to not drive their cars on the back of the car that you're standing behind to keep him from being able to leave.
And if he's out of his time, why won't you get from behind the car?
Right.
You're past your time. You're over your time. Then move, lady, so I can leave.
Right.
Who gave you the right?
Oh, I wish you let me leave, Kim.
Who gave you the right? You were over an hour and a half late. Go ahead, get your turn, sweetie. Who gave you the right to...
Biology gave him the right. Who gave him the right? See, you need to consider this when you laying down with a man. That if you have a child with a man, he's probably going to want to have something to do with the child. Likely. Unless you want a deadbeat person who wants nothing to do with the children. It seems like that's what she would prefer. Somebody who wants nothing to do with the children. But you got somebody who obviously wants something to do with the children. And she doesn't know why he has the right to do that. Does she have a daddy? Like, what the hell?
Right.
Who gave you the right? God gave me the right.
Shave their head.
What? Don't I pay child support? And don't they my
Child
kids too?
support has nothing to do. You are non-custodial with visitation. You have no rights whatsoever to do anything like this without consulting with me first.
Wow. Non-custodial, root word custodial, custody, right? So the person who has custody of the child, okay? You are non-custodial, meaning you don't have sole physical custody of the child. So if you don't have sole physical custody of the child, she thinks now you have to consult her before you do anything for your child because they don't live with you. So you don't have sole custody, so in her mind, you can't do anything without her approval. Men, is that the type of relationship that you want to have in a co-parenting relationship? I'm sure it isn't, because I'm sure you have things in your mind that you want to be able to teach your child, and you don't want to have to go through somebody else to be able to do that, right? So whenever you vet, you make sure that the woman knows how you want to raise your child, what you believe in, what your philosophies are, how you see the world, your outlook on the world, okay? These types of things. This way you know that she's going to be with you and not contend with you. Because just because you guys like each other in the beginning and y'all getting along, it does not mean that y'all don't have conflicting worldviews. And you may not find this stuff out until later, because a lot of us be moving fast out here. And we just care more about just getting to the do before we understand each other, before we have a child, which is a very important thing, right? But we don't look at that like that. So we need to reprioritize how we're moving. But let's go.
Your mama, I know it's about to get worse.
See? He already knows the mother's gonna make it worse. Mm-hmm. So you see her, remember earlier I talked to you guys about it creates cycles. So you see, you've already saw how the mother acts. Can't you see how the apple don't fall too far from the tree? I mean, can't you see it? I mean, that tree damn near, the apple still damn near on the tree. Like, they just alike. They both toxic as all get out. You understand, family? So let's continue.
Kim, you see, you can't let them scratch up the car.
I'm sorry. I need to know what you did.
I'm gonna give it back. Daddy gonna give it back. You can't scratch up the car, okay? Okay?
Go ahead.
Come on. Give Daddy a kiss. Give Daddy a kiss.
Give the car back.
Let me give him a kiss, Kim. Let him go.
Okay, give it the car. Give it.
Okay.
Give him the train.
Come get Daddy a kiss.
Get the train. Here, go over here.
She don't want him kissing his children.
Right.
You could just tell. She always talking and running her mouth while he's trying to kiss the children.
Right.
And give him his train. You can go. Give the girl, hush. Let me kiss my children.
Right.
Wrong with you?
That's so sad.
Give me the train.
You leaving now?
Where's your coat? I don't know. Where's my coats? Where's my stuff?
This is that bag that you gave me. Oh, you did give me coat, huh?
Yes, I did give you coats,
Oh,
girl, and I
back-
gave you hats, and I gave you food.
Okay, back up so I can open the trunk.
Go right ahead.
Kim,
Come
would
on,
you?
baby. I'm sorry, what'd you say? What? It works. Does the battery doesn't work? No, you gotta turn it on.
Get the coats, Earl.
When she back up?
Family,
They're
back
waiting
up.
for
What
us.
do you mean? Get the coats.
When she back up.
You can go get the
I
coats.
don't want you
Earl.
behind me, Kim, because
See how she's talking to Earl instead of her own daughter? You'd think she had more leverage with her own daughter, but she's choosing to argue with Earl. Why? She could say, back up some, Kim. Let the man get the what's names out the trunk. Just stand over here with me so he can get that out the trunk. Mm-hmm. But she's telling Earl to go ahead and open the door when she's heard Earl say, just back up some. He obviously don't want her looking all in his trunk, because you know she's going to come up with something. Mm-hmm. You understand? She already hit him with that non-custodial shit. So this means that whenever he takes the children out on his own time, she's going to treat him like she's his mama, and he got to answer to her about whatever he do for his children. That she's literally created that world for him by saying, you're non-custodial, you don't have any rights, and without approval you can't. So when I'm with my children, can I get them McDonald's? Can I get them Burger King? Can I get them a haircut? Can I buy them some new shoes? Can I? This is your child, but you got to talk to your mama about your child before you. Is that the relationship you want with your, like, I want you guys to think about this. Is that the relationship you want with your child? I'm sure it isn't. So vet better, I'm telling you. These people exist, yo.
Yes, they do.
Y'all be like, she cute, she got a big butt. Y'all crazy. None of that's worth it. I'm telling you now, none of that's worth it. And you can't change it after this. After you've already did this and moved immaturely or irresponsibly, and you have these children, you can't change it. So you just got to work with what you got. You can't control these people. They're going to be toxic if they don't decide to get help or whatever. So they're just going to be who they are. And
Absolutely.
here you are having to try to work with them. And they ain't even trying to work with you. So you already know the relationship is going to be just torn apart between you and your children, because the person that's your go-between hates your guts, man. And they're going to make sure that your children do too. It's sad. If you drop the ball, if you can't show up for a party, if you can't get everything they want for Christmas, if you can't be at their ball game, what you think she's going to do? Tell him the father don't like him? Tell him the father's irresponsible, that he ain't being a man? Not that he's at work. Not that he don't have full custodial rights. Not that. He only gets you guys on weekends. He don't come to the games. He's at work and we're 2 or 3 hours away from him. You see? Mm-hmm. She ain't gonna say that. She's not gonna give logic to the child. She's gonna be like, yeah, your daddy horrible. He could have been here, and look, it's me here. Because she's gonna be competing with him. She's gonna keep on saying, look what I'm doing that your daddy ain't doing. That's why she keeps saying, see, I sent food and everything and coats and I sent all this stuff. Really, yo, they're your children. You bagged them up some lunch because it's gonna be a ride or whatever. So what?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
I really don't care about you, Earl.
You know what? The coats are in the suitcase.
No, let it videotape.
Stop the
No,
phone.
really, because it's
The coats
videotaped.
are in the suitcase.
Stop the phone.
It's
mess.
already videotaped. It's okay.
If my
Can
picture
I have
gets
my
on the
clothes?
internet
Don't worry about it.
and you think it's
sue
funny,
him. You can do a
you
civil
see,
suit.
that's why
Yeah.
you're such.
What is she gonna do if her picture's on the internet? She's just sitting here making crazy threats, just like the daughter. Daughter, call the police. Mother, if our picture makes it to the internet, you do know your daughter's recording too. Tell her that. It's the same recording. It's the same content that's recorded, but it's more embarrassing if it's on if you're filmed with his camera than hers. Your logic is crazy. She's just there to make it worse.
Yeah, she's
Now,
instigating in a
listen.
major way.
Grandmothers, okay? If you're in a situation like this, be the mediator between these two co-parents, because you should care about your grandchildren
Grandbabies.
and them having a good relationship, a solid relationship with their mother and father, regardless of their bullshit bickering. So why are you caught up in a bias? Why are you doing this? You're toxic too.
Absolutely.
As a grandparent, you should be trying your best to make sure they both keep their focus on this child. Listen, let's not be petty. Y'all not together no more. Ain't no need in arguing. Let's get on up out of here. Okay, let's let that man see his children. Stop that. Because you should ultimately know that it's important for a man to be in his children's life. And do you really want to see your grandsons grow up like this, broken?
Absolutely.
And you're helping to do this. Y'all say y'all love these kids though, but y'all breaking them.
Yeah.
His father right there wanting to be in his life, and y'all doing that. There's so many men out here who don't care nothing about their children, man, don't want to be in their children's life, deny them, and you're gonna do this to a man who wants to be there for his child. That's so crazy to me.
Absolutely.
It hurts my feelings to watch that shit. Let's go.
Say that again, Miss Woods.
These are the 3-year-olds, not you.
Okay.
Grow up.
Okay.
Oh, let's see this. Let's go back a bit, because it's something she said to him.
She called him a coward.
Right.
Yeah.
Internet.
Don't worry about it.
And you
can
think
sue
it's
him.
funny.
You can do a
You
civil
see,
suit.
that's why
Yeah.
you're such a coward, Earl.
Say that again, Miss Woods.
These are the 3-year-olds, not you.
Okay.
Grow up.
Okay.
That's enough.
2 insults in front of her grandchildren about their father.
Wow.
He's a coward. This is why you're a coward. How is he a coward? What did he do? And then they're the 3-year-olds, not you. So basically what she's trying to do is assert that he is acting like a child. But is he, family? She's behind his car. He's asked her to move. She hasn't moved. All he did is say, back up so I can go into the trunk. And now he's a coward and acting like a 3-year-old because he didn't open the trunk when he asked her just back up from the car before I open the trunk. She didn't try to honor his request at all. It's his car. She won't let him back up, but she won't even back up so he can open the trunk. He's still standing by the trunk. If he start getting back in the car, she wants them coats, she can stand back behind the vehicle. Why won't you just tell your daughter to move instead of calling him a coward and calling him immature in front of his own children?
Absolutely.
Why? You could just say, Kim, please move out of the way before this man make me mad. I don't want to be in the middle of this. Please move so you can get this stuff and get up out of here. I'm sitting over here in the car. Let's get up out of here and get these kids up out of here. And then you can tell Kim on the way down the road, look, chill out. Seriously, because this is bad behavior, and you're not telling Kim that it's negative behavior, and Kim's not telling her children that scratching up the daddy's car is negative behavior. This cycle is clearly on display right here.
Absolutely.
Like, why are you caught up in their business like this?
That's enough. That's okay.
When
Can
you
I have?
hold
Wait a
me
minute, can
on
I
the
have
phone
my children's coats,
to
please?
introduce yourself,
I know I gotta get my coats.
You were respectable.
I am. Oh, Kim, did you ever find my mom's obituary?
Can you get? You never gave it to me, but can I have my coats, please?
Okay. She's trying to say, I thought you was respectable. He's not displaying that he's not respectable, okay? He does say a couple of things that he probably shouldn't say if he doesn't want to incite an argument, make it worse. But it's something she says here. One second. Okay, yeah, he asked her about his mother's obituary. Notice how polite she got, okay, and started saying please and thank you and sir. Like, you see that, right? That's because she did something with that man's mama's obituary. And her only response to it was, you never gave it to me. Notice how kind she got because she knows she's guilty. He just didn't choose to go into it further. But she says, oh, you are changing the subject. Well, I guess he's trying to say, if you think I'm disrespectful, you should ask your daughter what she did with my mother's obituary. Well, you never gave it to me. Like, and please, like, just watch this. I'm gonna go back, so I want you to hear this, because she's been insulting me the whole time. Watch all of a sudden manners show up, and watch how she starts talking. She's playing innocent by trying to act kind. This is what these toxic people do. Watch. Oh, it wasn't me. I don't, whatever the case, I have no clue. Whatever you're talking about, I have no clue. Start using words they don't normally use. Watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a coward, Earl.
Say that again, Miss Woods?
These are the 3-year-olds, not you.
Okay.
Grow up.
Okay.
That's enough. That's okay.
When
Can
you
I have?
hold
Wait,
me
can
on
I
the
have
phone
my children's coats,
to
please?
introduce yourself,
I
you
know
were
I gotta
saying
get my
that you
coats.
were respectable.
I am. Oh, Kim, did you ever find my mom's obituary?
Can you get? You never gave it to me, but can I have my coats, please?
Get the coats, please.
You're trying to change the subject.
I
Such
know.
a coward.
Just get the coat.
Such a coward. Called him a coward again. He's a coward for changing the subject. That's funny, but he's gonna be all types of everything, yo.
Everything.
Oh, they must have been that suitcase.
What do you want? I'm sorry. You want to hold my hand?
Yeah, go wait in the car.
It's right there.
He's trying to do
Oh.
something for the court date.
No, these are my coats. Oh, that's so typical. It's nothing new.
Oh, there you
Don't
go.
say another word to him. He's not even worth it.
I know.
But don't you ever
don't
touch
do
my children like that again without consulting me. I am custodial.
Didn't she just tell her daughter don't say another word to him? He's not worth it. It went out in one and out the other, didn't it? She don't listen to her mama. If you ever touch my children like this again without touch, another threat, and then says again, you're non-custodial.
Now, non-custodial means that she went through the courts, right?
Sure.
So my take on it is
She's
this.
weaponizing the court's paperwork now.
Absolutely. So if you are going to weaponize the legal documents negotiating custody, then let's say you're right and he was in violation getting your children's haircut. You still are displaying toxic behavior because you would rather argue with this man in the middle of the street than take him back to court and bring it before a judge that he had the children's haircut and this is in violation of the custody agreement. But she's not going to do that because it's not in violation of the agreement, and she knows a judge will shut her down. So sometimes women tend to get, their custody in favor of them, and then they do add on extra stuff, rights that they have that has not been issued by a judge. And because unfortunately the man doesn't understand much going on surrounding that, and he doesn't want to make matters worse, he's going to follow her up in whatever she says the rules are. And that saddens me because it gives women too much room to manipulate the situation. Like in this situation, making a man feel like he has to answer these questions where I took my son to get his hair cut is not under the custodial agreement. And it's not even up for negotiation. No judge said, well, he's going to get partial custody. He's only going to see the boys on the weekend. You're not allowed to take them anywhere, do anything with them, get
Without
them
her
clothes, get
permission.
their hair cut, unless you check with her first.
Right.
His custody and when his visitation is not supervised.
Right.
If he needed to be regulated, the judge would have gave him custody with supervision. He does not have that, which means the judge did not recognize him as a problem towards the children. So this is something that's being exercised 100% from her with no legal backing.
And that's indicative that she's behaving like a 3-year-old, because even if he was out of line per the documents, like you said, Lacey, she would just go and get that handled with the courts and not argue with this man, right? But she's going to be a 3-year-old. And if it's not in the documents, then she's clearly behaving like a child, cutting tantrums, right? There's no logic to it. Just being mad and angry, shouting out obscenities for what? Right in front of your children.
I'm gonna give them a haircut next
In the
time.
judgment of the divorce, you do not touch
Oh, is
their
that a
hair.
threat?
Is that
I'm just telling you, if they need a haircut, I'll give it to
Are
them.
you threatening my children?
If they,
So he shouldn't have said that, because you're dealing with people. It's not very toxic, but if you're dealing with people who are very toxic, they'll turn a mountain, turn a molehill into a mountain, okay? You understand? So by him saying, if they need a haircut again, I'll give it to him again. Oh, was that a threat? Like he just threatened to do, like he just said he's gonna harm the children. Okay?
That was terrible.
But he probably shouldn't have said it, but you already know how they're gonna act over it, right? Oh, was that a threat? Because they want him to make a threat. They want him to do something that they can try to get him for. You see? And it's sad, because if it were to work, then that's the child's father they did that to.
Absolutely.
You see, and that's crazy.
need a haircut, I'll give it to them.
They
told
just
you to
had a
cut the
haircut.
haircut?
Do you want me to send you the bill?
You do not cut
And you
them.
think it's funny?
Yeah, send me the bill.
You think
Earl.
She's asking him if he want her to send the bill about haircuts and stuff that she got on her own. So they have been cutting the children's hair. So they probably didn't have these locks and stuff like that. You feel me? So she just mad because they got a haircut through him.
Right, without her.
She probably loves the idea of saying he don't do nothing for the kids and shit. You see?
Fever instead of trying to give them a haircut.
Oh,
Kim.
he's videotaping that.
I know, so am I. I'm doing the same thing, Mom. I just want to.
Worried about the children being sick with fever instead of getting the hair. Are you worried about them right now? About that fever? You got them outside.
Right, without their jackets on, mind you.
Okay, that's crazy. The same stuff she's saying to him, she's doing. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna crack him on his head.
I'm gonna crack it on his head. Wait, is that a threat?
Right. What is happening? What's
So
happening?
you can make an actual threat, but if you say I'll cut my kid's hair again if they need it, is that a threat? Obviously, that's not a threat. But I'm gonna crack his head is.
That is, yes, it definitely is.
And she actually is gonna close the distance between him and her, showing that she is what I call terroristic feminine, because she's going to start a physical altercation with a man that she knows is stronger than her. That she knows if he hits her, she's going to gaslight him and say, oh,
Right.
you hit me. So this is terroristic, okay? Because this can cost people their lives.
Right.
It's worse now. It's not just toxic anymore. Her stepping to a grown man, what are you doing that for? She's old lady. She's stepping to a young man, a grown adult,
Absolutely.
talking about, I'm gonna crack something over his head.
Absolutely.
So she really needs him to be in his man frame and not lash back out in violence also. Because if, oh my God, if he gives her that energy back, he's gonna die probably. You understand?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Miss Woods, back up.
Waste of space.
Back up.
Behave yourself.
Back up, Miss Woods.
Behave yourself.
He's a waste of space.
Behave yourself.
Get out the car. Y'all scared.
Waste of space. You okay, sweetie?
What is your name, honey?
Look close.
What's your name?
Huh?
Hold on, Miss Woods. You,
I'm making it quick. Now they are in the back seat, asking the children in the back seat about the mother and what their name is. And do you not understand that they don't care who they traumatize as children? They don't care. They'll bring anybody into anything in the heat of the moment because they're upset. And this is the mother and the daughter. You think at some point the mother would say, okay, now this is too far. Let's not try to start asking the children questions and stuff. That's not our business right here. Let's go ahead and move on. But no, it's going to get way worse. This is what I'm saying. He should have immediately just turned around and walked right back into the police department and not even let all of this happen, because yeah, he's protected, but all of this damage still happened to his children. They still heard all of that crap.
Absolutely.
And then the children in the back still got to hear it as well. So you don't even really want this to happen. Just not protecting yourself, but you don't really want it to happen at all for their sake. So if you can avoid it, try and avoid it. But if you can't, get it on tape. So he did that part right. But if I were him, I would have definitely went on back inside the precinct.
Certainly.
Ronnie?
What's your mommy's name?
What's your name?
What's your mommy's name?
What's your mommy's name?
let the car go. Y'all
Are
just,
you?
Asking the child over and over again, what's the mommy's name? Like, If the child hadn't answered yet, they're probably not going to answer. Like, they're not even giving each other a break or giving a child a moment to answer the question about what's their mommy's name. What's your mommy's name? What's your mommy's name? What's your mommy's name? Like, yo, leave this little kid alone.
Absolutely.
What does it matter what's her name? What you gonna do?
And I thought your concern was the haircut.
Right.
Why are you inside the vehicle, sticking your head through the window, all in the door?
I guess they want to ask her where he took the kids to get their haircut. This is ridiculous. Why do you want to know who she is? She ain't got nothing to do with you.
Right.
You touching me?
Get away from the car.
Are you hitting me?
Get away from the car.
Are you hitting me? See, she closed the distance between him, so now the daughter got closer to him. And now if he tries to get them out of the way of his car door, if he tries to move them in the slightest, like just try to move, like, look, leave the kid in the car alone. It's not y'all. Wow, are you hitting me? Police, help.
Ooh.
Karen's family.
Ooh.
And I'm telling you, this could be a death wish. Okay, this could be a opportunity to ruin him, because again, if the wrong officer walks up and sees this and believes that they are truly being hurt or harmed or whatever, you never know what could happen from this. And if they got brothers or family members, or if there's any men around who think that this woman is really being harmed, you don't know what they might do.
Absolutely.
And so she's actually trying to use her femininity to hurt him further, like, help, because she knows I'm a woman, he's a man. I can try to create this scenario where I'm being abused by you. And she knows she's not being abused. That's the thing, she knows it. She actually said, did you hit me? Like, did you hit me? Did you? Like, she ain't even sure what happened, but she's gonna try to act like she's hurt and injured. You see what I'm saying? She's clearly gaslighting this man.
Absolutely.
It's sad, yo.
Are you hitting me?
Get
You
away
just
from the car.
abused me. Did you just hurt me?
Get away from the car.
Did you just hurt me?
Get away from the car.
Did you just put your hands on me? Are you hitting me?
Get away
and
from
you're
the car.
taking pictures.
Put your
You're
hands
doing
on
this
me?
on purpose.
The mother's saying the same
They're
stuff
both.
too. Are you taking pictures? No, he's recording. That's better than pictures. A picture say 1,000 words. What you think a video would do?
Right.
Oh, they see you now though. Trust me.
Away
You
from the
put your
car.
hands on me?
Let's go.
You put your hands on me? I'm gonna have a physical. Go ahead.
Go
Let me
ahead.
go ahead. Let's go. I'm gonna put a complaint against you.
I'm about to walk back in the
Right
police
now,
station
right.
myself.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
You put your hands on me. Leaving a child in the car.
So typical. Come on. So whose kid was in the car seat? My kid or her kid?
They have 3 car seats.
In the front seat?
No, I just put that in the front
In
seat.
the front seat?
Go get a license, Woods.
In the front seat, Earl?
Go get a life.
Go get a license.
Yeah, go get a life.
Go get. Oh, I have a life. You're the one that don't have a life.
You know when
Why
we
don't
killed
you grow up?
you know your husband had a woman out there in North Carolina, huh?
You know Earl. You know Earl.
I'm just
I won't even answer that.
I bet you won't.
She ain't got much to say to that. So she probably should be worried about what her husband's doing instead of over here focused on what they're doing, because she's not needed here. He's not yelling, he's not outraged, so there's really no need for her to get involved. She should have allowed them two to have their own conversation about that, especially if she ain't gonna offer nothing but toxic crap to it. And if it gets out of hand, like yelling and he's yelling at her, you fear for your daughter, then okay, if you're gonna say something, say something. Or at least say something to talk your daughter down so she stops provoking that man, because the worst could happen, even if he's the one that's crazy. You still wanna say, listen, baby, you already know he crazy. Don't test that man. You're gonna bring the worst out of him.
Right.
Don't do that. Try and work with him and keep him from that. Don't try to keep him from those rage points. But really, you're actually enraging him by fueling him. Don't do that. But he's not displayed any of that. I don't think he's ever displayed rage or anything like that, because they're too quick to treat him that way, as if they know he ain't gonna do anything. So they don't feel any type of fear or anything to not do this to him. You see what I'm saying? But again, her husband's cheating on her apparently. Okay, and now she don't know how to respond to that. But let's see what else happens before we end this video.
I won't even answer that.
I bet you won't.
And you had another girl while you were dating my daughter.
I wish I did. I wouldn't have married her ass. I wish I did. I would have married her.
So he says that he didn't have another girl, but if he did, then like mother, like daughter. You see? Both of y'all getting cheated on, potentially. Okay? Apparently you're still with the one who's cheating on you. Okay? Him and the daughter has now severed ties, but you're still in their business. Maybe you should work on the relationship that you actually still have instead of worried about what they got going on. That's my advice to you. You understand? And also stop being very toxic. You're too old for that. So you're older than him, talking about how immature he's behaving. You out there with him. You ever hear like the saying birds of a feather, right? When two people are arguing, people don't know who the crazy one is. Well, you're out there right there with them in the mix. So I know you want to appear like the mature one because you got some wrinkles on your face where they don't, but you actually worse than them. You actually worse than them because you ain't got no horse in this race. And you out here doing the same crap your daughter is. It's crazy. Now, I'm going to say this before we end the video, okay, family? A family consists of a father, a mother, and a child, okay? Now, if the relationship breaks down, you can co-parent and still have what you call family or tribe, okay? But when you're not willing to work together as a co-parent or anything, you don't have not a damn thing. You understand? You have a broken thing, and that's a broken home. And so you're breaking the home further with your actions and pushing this man away from your child, pushing him especially by pushing him away from you with your toxic behavior, because no one wants to be around a person who acts like that. And so what's he gonna do? Remove himself from you, and then he's gonna keep distancing himself until he's so far out of sight that he don't even get to see his children because you're so toxic. And I know that's probably right where you want it, so you can make this man the bad person that you want to make him for leaving you anyway. He chose to leave you alone, okay? Allow this man to be a father to his children. It's that simple. Your children need him. I know you don't want to hear that. I know you don't want to hear that, but they need him and they love him. I know you don't want them to. I know you wish you would have chose somebody else, but you didn't get to. He probably wish he could have chose somebody else too. But both of y'all were irresponsible. And now you have children, beautiful children. Love the children, family. Make them your priority. Stop making arguments and getting the edge on each other and one-upping each other your priority when you have children. You're a demon if you're doing that. This world is already hard enough. You understand? We don't need our mothers and fathers competing with each other over their child.
Absolutely.
This world is already hard enough. It's already hard enough to try and raise your children with the support of a good wife. I'm telling you, especially being a black man, okay? So having her against you while you're trying to raise your children along with a corrupt system, it damn near makes it impossible for a young black man, okay? He's already trying his best to make it happen. He get pulled over, get shot, get fines, all these types of things. And now he has all this child support and you sending them to jail and keeping them from his children. And now he has to ask you if he can cut the kid's hair. All this becomes pressure on a man. This is what we mean by being a man's peace. You don't have to do all of that. And I know she probably doesn't care anything about being his peace now that they're not in a relationship anymore. But likely this is how they responded in the relationship.
And the crazy thing is, even though they're in a state of co-parenting and not a full-blown romantic relationship, I would argue that it's still her responsibility to be his peace.
Absolutely.
Because it's still, and not just for him, but for herself as well. You cannot be an adequate parent if you are harboring all this negative energy in your body, all this, bitterness and resentment and vindictiveness. You cannot be 100% the parent that you intend to be, hanging on to all of that. It is going to show up in your actions. It's going to manifest in your emotions. It's going to manifest in your patience. So even if you weren't going to do it for him, you should want to do it for your children.
That's a fact. And I'll say this to end the video, family. Kings, whenever you leave a woman, okay, that you have children with, you decide to walk away from her, here's what you have to understand. You don't get to choose who she dates next. So if she doesn't date well and she dates some hoodlum, okay, who's treating her like crap in front of your kids, you don't get to choose that. So you walk away from her, but guess what? You're probably still going to be protecting her, because if some loser come up in her house, start hitting on her, treating her bad in front of your child, treating your child bad, you're still probably going to show up ready to run them hands or do something worse. So you're leaving her. So know that's a risk. Know that her attitude may break down even worse, and she may become your enemy, just like this is happening, okay? So when you remove yourself from her after you have a child, you're really not removing your protection, because your child's still under her roof, okay? So now you have, if you're going to move forward with another person, now you still have that other person. So you're saying I'm moving myself out of this because she's trouble, but you still have these responsibilities that I'm sure you don't want to have. You don't want to protect her anymore. You don't even want to be with her no more. But you're going to have to, because she still has your children, and she's going to be dating other men. And if they're going to be doing crazy stuff to her or around the children, the men, then you're probably going to have to go risk yourself for her still. Mm-hmm. So now that you're in a relationship with her, you're going to try to work it out. She's putting you through drama. You're probably going to allow that to continue because you want to be in the home. and make sure none of that happens. You don't want nobody raising your kids, so you're gonna put up with more, okay? But she's so toxic, okay, that can cause you to lash out and do something that can end your life and have you in jail. So you really gotta separate yourself from her for your health, okay? And so now, if you do that, your children will likely have stepfathers. They will likely have another authority figure in their life that's not you. I'm telling you, most of us men don't want that, okay? We want to be raising our children. So please think about these things before you have a child, before you start just laying down with any and everybody, okay? Because we all complain about these child supports and how women treat us after we have these kids, and as toxic behavior goes on, but we're not thinking about how we had an opportunity to control that. Your opportunity begins before you sleep with her. Now, she has moments where she can abort the child, do plan B. She can do different things after she gets pregnant. You, sir, you don't have that. All you have is abstinence to protect you. That's all you have, kings. She can poke a hole in the condom. The condom's not 100%. So what I'm telling you is, if she don't display the character of a mother, you shouldn't be sleeping with her. I know you want to get some, but grow up. Because that's the childish stuff right there.
Yes.
That's right there was the childish stuff. Sleeping with somebody that you likely saw red flags in. Mm-hmm. And if you're so horny and just trying to seek that action, you're not going to see the red flags anyway. So be in your right mind, family.
Absolutely.
Okay? Man, you're supposed to be focused. You're supposed to see this stuff, but you're not going to see it if all you care about is that booty dragging behind her. Okay, so grow up, okay? Really grow up. Make mature moves and righteous moves so your children can be in your life and your legacy can have your inheritance, and it can be without the ruining of a toxic person that don't want a relationship with you, so they hurt your relationship with your children. Okay, or they're upset because you don't want a relationship with them, so they hurt your relationship with your children. You don't want that, family. You want someone who's working with you to raise your children, not working against you. Okay.
Absolutely.
You good?
Good character, family. Make sure that you're choosing someone with good character. Everyone can behave when life is going their way. You want to see someone maintain a good heart and soul and hang on to their kindness when the world is chewing them up and spitting them out. That is the person you want to be a parent, because they can still be objective even
Thanks.
when life is not working, for their best interest. And people display that early on in the relationship when they want to get you back for the things they feel like you did instead of talking to you about it. That is the same individual that will use what's important to you as a weapon to manipulate you.
It's a fact. Listen, family, I hope you guys were encouraged by this to work harder when negotiating your relationships out, because your family, your children are the most important thing to you. So you should be an expert negotiator, or be trying to be, when it comes to figuring out the life of your children and the people that's going to be in your children's lives. Okay, family, make sure you put that first priority. These are your future. Okay? Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos
that you have found yourself.
And I got one more I like to say, okay? You will never cross the ocean until you have the courage to leave the shore. So have the courage to leave the shore. Have the courage to change. You may not know what's ahead of you, but have the courage to change, first of all. Have the courage to take the journey. You may not know where it's going to take you, but have the courage, family. Okay? Peace.
Peace. Bye.